Hello squad, it's Saint Finesse here, back with another build guide for Rain of Arrows, actually, and we are in a pit 100 as you can see, and we are blasting through these elites as if it was a nightmare dungeon. And of course, right when I say it I get stunned, or feared, whatever. Yeah, so this is the new and improved version of the build. Yeah, without any mythic uniques, by the way. I wanted to mention that. And if you want to be able to do the same, like speed farm through pit tiers 100 as if they were nightmare dungeons, then just stay tuned and watch, because we will go over each detail and the improvements I've made from the PTR version of the guide. And yeah, as you can see here, I mean, boom, that it's so satisfying to play this build, man. I'm literally in love. But without much further ado, let's jump to the boss of the pit from here. So here we are at the boss of the pit in 3 minutes. I had to do a bunch of backtracking, so that's why it actually took me 3 minutes. Usually I would have been done way earlier. And yeah, the boss is staggered and the boss is basically dead. This was a pit tier 100, cleared as if it was a nightmare dungeon almost. I already cleared the pit 105 in like 3.5 minutes or something, so with a bit of effort and stuff you can go up to 115 and plus. My gear isn't optimized at all. I have still much to improve here, but the issue is with these chaos uniques that they do require quite a bit of patience and stuff. So yeah, without much further ado, let's go through a Belial fight as well. So here we are back. Wait, did I actually say Belial fight? Sorry, I meant the annihilation of Belial, as you can see here in a moment. Yeah, that was basically it. I mean, if you want to deal trillions of damage with this new Reign of Arrows variant, which I cooked up, just keep watching. And if you haven't noticed yet, and if you have watched my build guide video for the Season 10 PTR on Reign of Arrows, we are not using any mythic uniques. So we got rid of Shroud and Ring of Starless Skies, because without them this build actually hits harder. And we will go through the details, through the changes in a moment, through the max roll planner, because as mentioned before, there are like many tempering stuff, temperings, etc., which I have not hit yet. So it's way easier to showcase everything on the max roll planner. It was just important for me that you actually see the potential of this build of being a S tier pit pusher, which it can be with quite a bit of effort. Even in this state, being able to push a pit tier 105 in like 3 or 3.5 minutes is quite a feat for a build like this, to be honest. And yeah, so without much further ado, let's go through the skill tree. So let's now go through the skill tree. For our basic skill we are using Heartseeker, all the way up to Fundamental Heartseeker, but if you use Kax rune and you have issues with your resources, then you can go Primary Heartseeker as well, which should nullify those issues. And then here for the core skills, we only take Stutter Step because, I don't know if you've realized, but we don't have any boots with movement speed or something, which means that we have to get our movement speed from tempering and our skill tree basically, which shouldn't be an issue at all. And then here we have, down here we have Caltrops, and we take enhanced Caltrops. We don't need the rest really, just for a nice increased damage multiplier. And then we take the 4 damage increasing nodes, and yeah, just nice damage multipliers. Then for dash, I personally take Methodical Dash for speed farming because it makes everything way easier and smoother. Combined with the Jar rune, you are basically zooming through the map and one-shotting everything, especially like in the lower pit tiers and in tier 4 content overall. And then for the subterfuge skills, we have Smoke Grenade into Enhanced Smoke Grenade for another nice damage multiplier, and some crowd control. Then we take Dark Shroud with Enhanced Dark Shroud for increased movement speed as well. And Dark Shroud is important for many reasons. Movement speed, as mentioned, and then for damage reduction and increased damage with our tempers, which we'll get to in a moment. And then we have Malice and Exploit. Both of them nice damage multiplier passives again. And yeah, then here for the imbuements, we have a Shadow and Cold imbuement going all the way up to mixed cold and mixed shadow imbuement for another nice damage multiplier. And then we take 3 points into Frigid Finesse, and the 7 bonus points are from our amulet, which would be best case scenario, but I personally don't have it as well. You don't need it to speed farm pit 100s, etc. And then we have Deadeye for increased multiplicative damage against distant. We get 60% from our Word of Arcana as well, so it's very important that we always play at a distance. And then we take Deadly Venom for Alchemical Advantage for more lucky hit chance and attack speed. Now, down here for the ultimate skills, of course, we take Rain of Arrows all the way up to Supreme Rain of Arrows with 3 points into Unto Dawn to maximize the damage. And you can see the distant damage bonus there, which is 200%, which we will be able to get through the Paragon board by itself, so you don't have to put any tempers into your gear to get this bonus. And 15 points is actually possible because of our gear and our one aspect, which we'll get to in a moment as well. And then we have 3 points into Second Wind and 3 points into Haste. With tempering and stuff, innovation will be at 3 to 6 points, which is usually more than enough. If you do have issues with your energy, especially early on, you can put more points into innovation and maybe roll resource generation, etc. And then we have Impetus for even more damage after moving, and Alchemist's Fortune for some lucky hit. For our key passive, we take Precision because it is the highest damage multiplier there is. With the Barrage Rain of Arrows version, we still take Victimize with the Beastfall version because Precision is just not reliable at all there. But with this build, because our Heartseeker cannot consume Precision stacks, it's basically the best options, and this is the highest damage variant of Rain of Arrows there is. So now, let's go through the gear. So now for the gear, as mentioned before, we do not use any Mythic Uniques with this build anymore. And most importantly, we will go for Word of Arcana as a Chaos Unique. Best case scenario would be Rain of Arrows cooldown reduction. I personally don't even have it yet. I had to triple crit the cooldown reduction in order to make the build properly work. But yeah, having a Chaos version of Word of Arcana and triple critting chance for Rain of Arrows to deal double damage with HGA on cooldown reduction is quite important because this enables the build to its maximum potential. And while looking for this, you can of course go with a regular Word of Arcana amulet, which you can see here. This is for the starter variant, you can check it out as well. And I do have the Barrage Raw as well, plus a kind of hybrid with Heartseeker and Raw, which is very experimental, so don't try it yet. And yeah, so that's the most important one. And then we have Shard of Raphael, the second most important. Here it's actually recommended that you might want to have a GA on maximum resource as well. If you don't have a GA on maximum resource, or if it's like this, it's fine, but maximum resource is quite important with this build, especially for the early stages. Later on, too, if you want to use the Cax rune, and the Cax rune will give you the best, like most damage output, it's basically going to be an 80% damage multiplier overall, which is crazy because it almost has 100% uptime. And yeah, so basic attack speed is theoretically the best, but I would suggest to at least have a GA on maximum resource as well and maybe crit it once, or try to triple crit it and get a bit less of basic attack speed, but that's basically up to preference. You have to test it out a bit. And yeah, I have 35 maximum resource on my Shroud of Erethiel with my with the potion, the Elixir of Resourcefulness 2. I have no energy issues at all, even with the Cax rune. So yeah, that's basically my experience. And then the third most important unique is going to be the Sky Hunter as a Chaos armor, because this increases our damage basically by more than 100%, probably 140% damage increase if you get it like this with attack speed. And then a GA on chance for marksman projectiles to cast twice with triple critting it. So to get it as close to 100% as possible. And the precision increased damage is very, very nice as well. And yeah, for the rest of the Chaos Armor, I chose Fists of Fate for another nice damage multiplier. Our attacks deal up to 360% multiplicatively more damage. In the long run, this is basically a 80% damage multiplier. You could see it like that. And we have lucky hit chance, amazing amounts, attack speed, and chance to make enemies vulnerable as well. And with my Chaos version, I don't even have a GA on lucky hit. I have a GA on critical strike chance, which is useless, but it still works out really great because of its aspect, which is the most important part. And then we have Crown of Lucian as well. We want a triple crit max life here because that's the only thing really worth. You could go for lucky hit as well, but you will be a bit squishy then. Just saying. And yeah, so each time you use a skill, we basically gain a huge amount of damage and a huge amount of resource cost increase as well, which is actually really good for us because that means we can always have the 3-to-1 ratio for our Rain of Arrows. And last but not least, Grasp of Shadows. You don't need this as a Chaos armor, by the way. You could basically have like Crown of Lucian on your chest and then use Grasp of Shadows on your gauntlet, because the inherent, like if you have 70 to 80% chance for your Shadow Clone to cast Rain of Arrows, it's basically enough. And we want to look for the +8 to Marksman and Cutthroat skills. This alone increases our damage by about 60%, which is crazy. The only issue with this gauntlet is that the Shadow Clone doesn't get the precision benefits. That is kind of sad, but it doesn't really matter that much because Shadow Clone still deals quite a bit of damage with the Rain of Arrows, so the aspect alone will give us a damage increase of about 10 to 15%. So this glove basically almost doubles our damage, which is why I got rid of the Shroud of Falstaff. Originally, I got rid of Grasp of Shadows and then got Fists of Fate in its place, still keeping Shroud. But after doing some testing with everything, this is basically the highest damage you could possibly get from the Chaos Armors without any mythic uniques. And the mythic uniques will actually hold you back a bit in terms of damage. But instead of this, you still can go Shroud of Falstaff if you like the, all stats, maximum life, and the resource generation will make things a bit easier. But yeah, in terms of damage, this is probably the best variant. And then for our bow, we want to have GA and triple crit the dexterity. Oh no, I forgot to change this actually, my bad. I will do it right now, very professional of me. So here, actually, we want to again have chance for Shadow Clone deal double damage as close to 100% as possible. And then GA on dex and a crit on it as well. You could go crit on max life 2 instead of dex if you feel like you're too squishy. But we have so much damage reduction with this build. 7 to 9k HP is more than enough. I myself play at about 9 or 8k HP most of the time. So, and I never get one shot whatsoever. And yeah, after that we go here. By the way, for the aspect we use obviously the Aerostorm aspect to get 130% increased damage on our Aerostorms, and our Rain of Arrows is now an Aerostorm because of Word of Khan. So then we have, by the way, and you want to temper damage per Dark Shroud on all of your legendary gear. On the sword, you want to have chance for Rain of Arrows to deal double damage, dex, max life, and then you can have one lucky hit to restore primary resource. You don't necessarily need it. I mean, if you want, you can get rid of one of the innovation and then put chance to restore here and get like crit damage or vulnerable damage on your sword. But I just put it here in case you guys do want it. And the vulnerable damage or crit damage you get from here isn't going to do a lot. I mean, it's additive damage 70% or something, so you might as well want to put primary resource on it. And then we want to have the Apogeic Furor as our aspect here to increase ultimate skill whenever we cast it. For our ring, we want to have dex, resistance to all, and attack speed. Most preferably GA on attack speed on basically they are copies like innovation, temper, damage per dark shroud, temper. And yeah, we want to have here, you can either go with cold clip or with the aspect which increases your damage when you have a barrier. Both of them work really fine. They are interchangeable, up to you. If you want to make use of the chaos perk, which your attack speeds are, your basic attacks are going to be imbued randomly, you can get rid of cold clip. But yeah, that's basically up to you. And here for the other ring, we have gonna have Brawler's aspect to increase our ultimate skill damage, not to increase our damage when we cast an ultimate skill, and to gain the 2 additional ultimate skill ranks. And then for our amulet, we want to have Dex, GA on Frigid Finesse and triple critting it. Best case scenario, you don't need it. I triple crit Dexterity because I don't have Frigid Finesse. I personally have percent armor and Malice, I believe it was. So the percent armor is a nice option as well if you are lacking the armor and resistance and you want to just cap them out without worrying too much. It can go up to 70% without the GA and without critting it once, which is insane. And yeah, here we want to have the vengeful aspect, which is again another Arrow Storm damage multiplier, so a Rain of Arrow damage multiplier. So yeah, this was the gear, and now let's go through the Chaos perks. A Beast Cornet is going to be the one we are going to be using. As you saw during the pit and the Belial fight, we were always at 10% HP, which increases in turn our damage by 180%, which is crazy. And we actually restore a bunch of resources with this spend as well. And with that, we are going to use Merit Guard, which means we can't be healed above 50% life anymore. But in turn, our maximum resistance, our armor, and our barrier gets increased, which is why we actually are so tanky. And here, the lower we are, the more damage reduction we get, which is quite nice as well. So, yeah, other than that, we have the unpredictable alchemy. Here it says 40% that our imbued skills are going to deal 40% increase, but it's actually 60% because they just buffed it a few days ago. So if 60% damage multiplier on a chaos perk is insanely nice just for having it. And then I put erupting chaos here, but you can use any other one as well, doesn't really matter because these 3 are the most important ones for our damage output. For Mercenary, we take Rahir as always, and in order to get either the resistance to all or the armor, and yeah, then you want to go accordingly with damage multiplying passives at the end. As the secondary, we are going to take Varanya with Blood first in order to increase our attack speed cap 2 by a little bit. With this variant of the build, you will probably hit your attack speed cap 2, like overall 200% attack speed, which is, it feels so nice to play basically. And yeah, next let's go through the Paragon board. So for the Paragon, at the beginning we start out with Canny, but you can go with Fluidity as well. It's basically up to you. If you have energy issues at the beginning, you go Fluidity. If not, go Canny. And then we go up to Dance Macabre and Versatility. Dance Macabre increases our damage by 50% multiplicatively after casting stuff like Dash, or even, what's it called? Not Shroud of False Staff, Dark Shroud, sorry. And then as the glyph, we are going to take Versatility here, which increases our ultimate skill by 25%, basically, which is nice to have. And then we have damage to distant enemies, which is quite important for the damage multiplier we get for Rain of Arrows. So this is really important. And with these, like with these 3 nodes and the rare node, you get the 200% multiplier, so you don't need to temper anything more. In town, it will show you like 160%, but out of town, it's going to be 200, so don't worry about it. And then we go up here into No Witness and Devious. No Witness, 60% damage multiplier just for having Word of Arcane equipped, basically. So yeah, a really nice damage buff. And then here, as our glyph, we take Devious, and it's just a nice damage to crowd-controlled enemies, and attempting to crowd-control increase our damage again, multiplicatively. And when looking for glyphs you want to pick, always pick those that give you a double damage multiplier. This is basically going to give you the most damage. And then here for the rare node color and the 2 magic nodes, the attack speed, you only need to take those if you lack attack speed. If you already hit your attack speed cap 1, because this goes to attack speed cap 1 and not 2, you don't need these. Just saying it, but yeah, if you have 100% attack speed, just reallocate them somewhere else, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And for 4th board, we have Eldritch Bounty and Headhunter. Eldritch Bounty, just a 50% damage increase multiplicatively, because we deal poison, shadow, and cold damage with our Rain of Arrows. Non-physical damage, we want to stack as much as of it as possible. And then we take Headhunter here. We want to take as many of the dex nodes as possible, of course. We still have some left here, so you could get... Wait. Here. You could get a bunch more dexterity from this. You can see up to 190. But the reason why I did not do that is to basically make it realistic at the beginning. And down here we have, as our last and 5th board, Exploit Weakness and Fluidity. So this basically gives us energy regeneration and increased damage. That's why I said that you can put it at the beginning as well, when we cast Dash, for example, or like Caltrops and stuff. So you can put it at the beginning as well. That's basically up to you. And then you just get the, of course, maximum life and resistances, stuff like that, whatever you need to basically cap it out. And yeah, and you can, of course, always use incenses as well to cap out your armor and resistances. So that was the Paragon board. So, as mentioned, you will be able to blast anything with this build, any content in the game. And it's, as mentioned before, extremely satisfying to play. And yeah, it's just a blast, man. I mean, walking around. Yeah, I mean, I cast Rain of Arrows and then just leave, basically. That's the whole game plan of it. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. And by the way, with this build, you will be able to hit pit 115 and stuff like that, if that's something you care about, because I don't care about pit pushing. I already cleared pit 105, so I'm more than happy with that. And yeah, as mentioned, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, give me some feedback in the comments as well. And then I will see you in the next one. Take care.